Hi, welcome back to GradGirlRambles. It's Brianna here with a new video. So today I just wanted to do a check-in because I have started my internship. Colossus, no. Anyway, I've started my internship. I've been doing about 6 weeks of like direct patient care, and I just kind of wanted to talk about like what it looks like for me. So as a reminder, I'm getting my PhD in school psychology from Michigan State University, and for my internship year, I am doing a pediatric psychology internship at Ochsner Medical Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Which is very different from what I've done in my training up until this point. And so I was kind of going into this year a little nervous, a little hesitant, because school psychology, while my program kind of has more of a clinical slant than some other like typical school psychology programs, pediatric psychology is very different. And I was really nervous about what it would look like and how I would do. It's going well. 6 weeks in, I feel very confident in some areas, and others I'm still developing, still growing, still like a new intern, which is still appropriate because I'm not even like 2 months in. So within my track, our year is split into like trimesters, and this first trimester, my major rotation, my major track is always going to be the same. It's always going to be pediatric psychology. I'm always going to have some kind of consultation liaison component to my schedule. I'm always going to be doing outpatient therapy. So in my track, I also do evaluations with like a neuropsych focus. So all of the kids who are referred to us have some kind of co-occurring medical condition. So some of them might have some kind of like heart conditions, or we have a lot of kids who are waiting for different solid organ transplants. So we do a lot of like baseline testing before the transplant, and then a year after the transplant, we would do testing again. I'm only here for a year, so obviously that would not be me unless I stay. I don't know. So that's one of the rotations that I do within like my primary track, like the ped psych track. This trimester, I'm also in the diabetes clinic and the functional neurological disorders clinic. Those two clinics have kind of been put on hold because one, my primary supervisor is out for a little bit, and two, we just don't have a lot of people making appointments. We only have them once a month, so that doesn't really happen a lot. But it's really interesting learning like what the psychologist's role is like within diabetes clinic and the FND clinic. So that's really cool. And then this trimester, my minor rotation is in child development. So it's in the Child Development Center, and it's on the Autism Assessment Clinic. So that's a multidisciplinary clinic with a psychologist, speech pathologist, occupational therapist, and someone from the medical team. In our case, it's a nurse practitioner. And they basically do this like comprehensive but like very efficient comprehensive evaluation for kids from 2 to 4 who are suspected of having autism. So in the morning, everyone sees them and it's like, and then before they leave, they get kind of the results, whether or not their child has a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, and then they would get the report like within a week, which is really cool that they're able to do that. But the wait list, just like everywhere else for like an autism assessment, is super long. So that clinic, we only see kids from 2 to 4. There are some other clinics that see older kids. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. And so I'm actually wearing scrubs right now because for the child development rotation, there's like a lot of crawling on the floor with the kids, and it's just easier to wear scrubs, and we don't have to go into the main hospital, so there's really not an issue with us wearing scrubs. For the most part, psychologists in Ochsner wear business casual unless they work in primary care. I think everyone over at primary care wears scrubs. and I think some of the adult track interns, like the different departments they're in, they might wear scrubs, but within peds, it's really just the people in primary care, and then the autism clinic or like feeding clinic they also have, but I'm not doing that this trimester. So anyway, I've been at it for about 5 to 6 weeks. It's going well, having a great time. I'm seeing, like, a lot of people said, like, oh yeah, school psychology is actually really helpful for ped psych, and I'm starting to see that. It's really interesting how often people will be like, oh, you know, a parent will tell a psychologist, like, oh, our school told us this, this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. And then the psychologist is like, that sounds weird. And they turn to me and they're like, is that true? Would schools do that? And I'm like, oh, schools do a lot of stuff, and this is also a different state, so I don't know what exactly they're doing in the schools down here, which is also kind of an interesting dynamic. They ask me a lot of school-based questions, but I don't know anything about Louisiana public schools. I know very foundational education, but every state is different, so I don't know. But it's cool, it's great, it's going well, and I really like it. Next trimester, instead of child development, I'll be in the primary care rotation, so I'll be in a different building, and I'll do an update on that when I get there. But it's going really well. I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of like positive feedback on my skills and a lot of like validation, and it's really nice to have people who are always like, you're really good at this. Like, I've gotten compliments on the way that I write. Like, I write good notes, which everyone writes their notes differently, but I've had people tell me that I write good notes or that I'm a good writer, so that's nice. I've heard people comment on my behavior management skills, which is always nice because I feel like we spend so much time learning and doing it in school, so I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this in any setting. So that's really fun. And then assessment is just like what I really, really enjoy, and so being able to do that kind of within this different context, I'm also learning a lot of different new assessments that maybe we'd read about, we briefly trained in, but I never actually got to use them in the schools, so I really like that. So anyway, that's how things are going. I'll do another update at some point, probably when things change in the next trimester, but it's good. Internship is going well. I'd give it an A+. Okay. That's it. All right.